Let me show you how to calculate increasing annuity present values and accumulated values using just your financial calculator. No pencil and paper needed. Before we begin, I want to briefly explain why this is worth learning. The SOA's financial mathematics exam is 2.5 hours long, consisting of 30 multiple choice questions. That's 2.5 hours times 60 minutes per hour divided by 30 questions is a measly 5 minutes per question. After reading the problem and determining how you're going to approach the problem, that leaves very little time for calculations. Since one question could be the difference between passing and failing, it's crucial that you're as efficient as possible when solving the problems. Mastering the financial calculator is the best way you can improve your efficiency. Okay, now let's talk about the increasing annuities. For the increasing annuities, you really only need to remember one formula, and that's the formula for an increasing annuity immediate. IA angle N equals A do angle N minus NV to the N divided by I. Okay, so how are we going to do this all on our financial calculator without pencil and paper? Let's break this down. Take a look at the numerator. The first term is A do angle N, which represents the present value of an annuity due. So we're going to need to set our calculator to begin mode. Now the coefficient of our annuity due is 1, so we'll set our reoccurring payment to 1. The next term is minus NV to the N. So we're going to set our future value to minus N because that's the coefficient of the V to the N. V to the N means discount for N periods. The last thing that we have to do is set our interest rate to the given interest rate, and then we can compute the present value, and that gives us the entire numerator. So all that's left to do is simply divide by the interest rate, and we have our present value. Let's see this in action by finding the present value of this 20-year increasing annuity immediate with payments that start at 2 and increase by 2 each time. So in other words, the actuarial notation for the present value of this annuity is 2 times IA angle 20, and let's do this at an interest rate of 5%. Okay, so here we are on the calculator, and remember our numerator is A do angle N. So the first thing we want to do is put it in begin mode. So we go second begin, second set to change that to begin mode. Now we see BGN here. And then we can quit out of here by hitting second quit. And now I like to work left to right on my financial keys to make sure that I've keyed in every value that I need except for the one that I'm computing. So in this case, we want IA angle 20. So 20 is the number of payments. Our interest rate given was 5%. Present value is what we're solving for. Our payment, remember it's A do angle 20. So our coefficient is 1 there. So we put 1 as the payment. Our second term was minus NV to the N. So we put minus N here. And N is the number of periods. So we're going to put 20 plus or minus future value. So that's our minus N. Then we can compute the present value. Now we get a negative number here because this works on a cash inflow outflow basis. So we're saying we want to receive a payment of 1, and then we're actually going to pay minus 20 periods from now. So how much do we need to invest now to do that? And the answer is 5.547. So we're simply just going to hit the plus or minus. So this represents our present value of those cash flows. And then we're going to divide by our interest rate of 5%. So we divide by 0.05 and we get our present value of 110.95. Now this is IA angle 20, and we actually wanted 2 IA angle 20. So our last step is to simply multiply by 2, and we get the present value of our 20-year increasing annuity immediate of payments of 2, 4, 6, 8, and so on is 221.90. Okay, that was easy, but what if we want the present value of an increasing annuity due, or the accumulated value of an increasing annuity immediate, or the accumulated value of an increasing annuity due? Well, it's simple in each case. Just find the present value of an annuity immediate and then adjust. For example, let's say we want the accumulated value of a 10-year annuity due with payments of 10, 20, 30, and so on at an interest rate of 5%. Those are payments at time 0, 1, 2, on to time 9, and we want the value of those at time 10. That's what it means when you write down IS due angle 10. You're returning the value 1 period after the last payment. Well, we're going to calculate the present value of an annuity immediate, which is the value 1 period before the first payment. So if our first payment is at time 0, then IA angle 10 represents the value at time minus 1. So we'll calculate IA angle 10, and then we'll accumulate from time minus 1 to time 10, which is 11 periods. So in this case, we have our annual effective rate, so we'll simply take our increasing annuity value and multiply by 1.05 to the 11th power. Let's do this on the calculator now. Okay, now we want to calculate IS due angle 10, but we're like, nah, we'd prefer to calculate IA angle 10. So we're going to do that first, and then we'll just move it to wherever we need the value to be. So to calculate IA angle 10, we have 10 is the number of payments. We're already in begin mode, so we're good to go there. The interest rate is 5%. Present value is what we're solving for. We have A due angle 10, so our coefficient of the annuity is 1. Minus NV to the n, so minus 10 is our minus n, so we hit 10 plus or minus, set that as the future value. Compute the present value, that's our numerator, we'll hit the plus minus and divide by the interest rate, and this is IA angle 10. That's what we're good at calculating. Now we can multiply by 10 because we want 10 times, we want an increasing annuity of 10, 20, 30, 40. So this represents the present value. This is the value of these payments one period before the first payment. So if our first payment is at time 0, this represents the value at time minus 1. We want to take this to time 10, so we want to accumulate this for 11 periods. So we could simply multiply by 1.05 to the 11th, or we can just use the financial keys to do that. Take what we just calculated and set it as the present value. We want to accumulate this for 11 periods. Our interest rate's already stored. We now have no reoccurring payment, so set 0 as the payment and compute the future value, hit the plus or minus, and there is 10 IS due angle 10, 673.43. Here are some more examples for you to practice on. Remember, you should be trying to do these problems without picking up pencil or paper. If you want to learn some more ways to be as efficient as possible on the exam, visit theinfiniteactuary.com.